In our next unit, we talked about more derivative rules, and we kind of finished all of them out. So in our first lesson, we talked about the chain rule. Whenever you have a composition, which is a function inside of another function, like we have here, f of g of x, to take the chain rule, we take the derivative of the outside function, f prime, of the inside function, so we keep that inside function the same, and then multiply it by the derivative of the inside function, g prime. When we did these in class, we typically set them up with u's and v's, and then just multiply u prime and v prime together. We'll do some examples of the chain rule later, but we'll just kind of do an overarching summary of what we talked about in this unit. The next thing we talked about after that was implicit differentiation. We said that if we have x's and y's on the same side of the equation and it's either difficult or impossible to isolate the y, we have to use what's called implicit differentiation, which is a version of the chain rule. So for some examples, for this one, notice that this term just has an x squared. Since it just has an x squared, its derivative would be 2x. For this one, however, because it has a y squared, we have to use the chain rule. So the outside function is something being squared. The derivative of that is 2 times that something. So the first part of this derivative is 2y. The derivative of the inside function, since we have a y on the inside, the derivative of that y term is y prime. So this would be 2y y prime when we take its derivative. In this example over here, we have a product rule. We have x times y, so make sure to set up the product rule as you take that function's derivative, so on and so forth with implicit differentiation. So this was a pretty short unit. We didn't do too many lessons, just chain and implicit differentiation. So let's do some of the examples that we are able to do now because of those two lessons. For number 3, it says, if this is the function f of x and g is a differentiable function of x, what is the derivative of f of g of x? Hopefully you recognize the chain rule here. So this is a composition. It literally means to take g of x and plug it into f. Well, we don't have an expression for g of x. We're just taking the name of the function g of x. They're just telling us it's differentiable. So take this function called g of x and plug it in, substitute it in to the function called f of x. So f of g of x would actually be g of x quantity squared minus 4. So when we take the function's derivative, the derivative of negative 4 is going to be 0, so don't worry about that one. Obviously, E can't be the correct answer choice. We don't want that negative 4 in there. The derivative of g of x being squared, though, this is implicit differentiation because, or chain rule, depending on how you want to look at it, because we have a function inside of another function. So when we take the derivative of this, we're going to take the derivative of the outside. So let me set up my u and my v. So the inside function is g of x. The outside function is u squared. We're taking g of x and squaring it, so that's u squared. U prime would be g prime of x, and v prime would be 2u. And if I replace u back with what it equals again, I'm going to take g of x and plug it in here. That's going to be 2g of x. And chain rule says to multiply the derivative of the inside and the derivative of the outside. So my final answer is going to be 2g of x times g prime of x. Answer choice, D. So number 3, D. The next one, 7. This is a chain rule problem. We have an inside function and an outside function. I don't think you want to multiply this out 4 times in order to make it not the chain rule anymore. So let's just set up our u and our v. Our inside function is 1 minus 4x squared. Our outside function is u to the 4th power. U prime is going to be negative 8x, and v prime is going to be 4u to the 3rd power. If I replace u back with what it equals, that's going to be 4 times 1 minus 4x squared to the power of 3. If I multiply u prime and v prime, negative 8x times 4 is negative 32x. So I'm looking for a negative 32x at the beginning, and this is the one that has that. And then we have that 1 minus 4x squared to the 3rd power. So answer choice E. I think on your guys' worksheet that got printed out, that power of 3 got cut off. So it should have been there, though. Answer choice is correct, E. Number 8. This is an implicit differentiation problem. Notice we have y's on the same side, and it's not just a y by itself. We have y cubed and y to the 1st power and x squared. So we're going to have to use implicit differentiation to find dy dx and then to isolate dy dx. So the derivative of y cubed is 3y squared. That's the derivative of the outside. But then since y is a function of x, we have to multiply it times the derivative of the inside, y prime. Moving on to the next term. The derivative of y is y prime. So plus y prime equals x. We're taking this derivative with respect to x. So when we take the derivative of x squared, it will be a normal derivative. So x squared has a derivative of 2x. Now, if you look at this side, we have y primes in two terms. Whenever that happens and I'm trying to isolate y prime, I want to factor out that GCF. So I'm going to take y prime out and whatever's left. 3y squared is left from this first term. And from the second term, we have plus 1, because when we take out y prime, we're going to be left with a 1. Plus 1 equals 2x. Last but not least, to isolate y prime, I'm going to divide by whatever is left on this side. So 3y squared plus 1 being divided over to the other side gives me that y prime is equal to 2x over 3y squared plus 1. And it's not necessarily in that same order, but answer choice E is equivalent to that. All right, the next one I want to look at is number 16. It says, what is the slope of the line tangent to the graph of y equals ln of 2x at the point where x equals 4? Well, slope of a tangent line is a very fancy way of saying what is the derivative. So they want to know what is the derivative of this function evaluated at 4. Now again, this is a chain rule problem. The inside function is 2x. The outside function is ln of u. U prime is just 2. V prime is 1 over u, because the derivative of the natural log is 1 over u. If I replace u back with what it equals, that would be 1 over 2x. Using the chain rule, I can multiply the derivative of the outside and the derivative of the inside. So when I multiply 2 times 1 over 2x, I get 1 over x. And they want to evaluate this at 4. So I'm going to plug 4 into that, 1 over 4. Answer choice B. Number 20 is the next one we'll do. Now, before I do this one, I'm going to rewrite this a little bit. I want to know what the derivative is, that's what this means, d dx, of sine of x squared. And then this 3 right here, I want to make sure I know what this 3 applies to. So this is sine cubed of x squared. But remember, we want to rewrite that as sine of x squared that's being cubed. That's just a simpler notation of how to write this. So it's the x squared is inside of the sine function. And then the sine of x squared, that whole thing, is inside of the cubed function. So make sure you have that order correct. So x squared is the very innermost function. The next innermost function is sine. And the last function is that we're cubing all of that. So when I take this derivative, it's a chain rule, and I need a u, a v, and a w. So the very innermost function is x squared. The next layer of that onion is sine of u. We're taking sine of x squared. And my last layer is v that's being cubed. So if I kind of did a little layering of this, if I plug x squared in here, I get sine of x squared. If I plug sine of x squared into here, I get sine of x squared, that whole quantity cubed, which is what I had originally. So chain rule says to find the derivatives of all of these and just multiply them together. So u prime would be 2x. V prime would be cosine of u. And if I replace cosine of u back with that u value, that would be cosine of x squared. And w prime would be 3v squared. If I replace v back with what it equals, that would be 3 sine of u squared. And if I replace that u back with what it equals, that would be 3 sine of x squared. That whole quantity being squared. Like that. And then, chain rule says to multiply these 3 things together. So if I'm looking at the coefficients, I have a 2x and I have a 3. So if I multiply those, I'm looking for 6x. So it's not this one, it's not this one, and it's not this one. So it's either C or E. And then, so I have 6x, then we have a cosine of x squared and a sine of x squared quantity squared. So I'm looking at this one. So we have a cosine of x squared, and then we also have a sine of x squared, that whole thing squared. Remember, again, you can put that 2 back here again after the sine. For the notational purposes, that's the same thing as this. So the 2 here squaring it could also go here for sine squared of x squared. So, correct answer choice is E. All right, the next one I want to look at is number 25. They're giving us this function f, and they're saying find the derivative. So if we look at this, a is just a constant value, but it's a constant that's greater than 0, so keep that in mind as we go forward. And then the only other thing you need to know is that this is a chain rule. We have x's up here in the exponent of this exponential function, but the x's are not alone. So it's not just e to the x, it's e to the power of negative ax. So we're going to have to use a chain rule. So we have the derivative of the inside. Well, we have the inside being negative ax, and we have the outside being a e to the u. So again, if you do that substitution, plugging negative ax into this function, you get back to the original one. Now the derivative of u prime, The derivative of this, since negative a is a constant that's being multiplied times x, this would be like the derivative of negative 4x. So the derivative of negative 4x is negative 4, or negative 10x. The derivative of negative 10x is negative 10. So the derivative of negative ax is negative a. For this one, let's look at this in two different pieces. First of all, we have a times e to the u. Now, this is not a product rule, and the reason it's not a product rule is because a is a constant. It's not a function of x. It's just a constant value. So it's actually just a constant multiple, and I always say that those tag along for the ride. So a will tag along for the ride of whatever the derivative of e to the u is. So the derivative of e to the u is itself, e to the u. And if I replace u back with what it equals, I'm going to get a e to the, plugging this in for u, negative ax. And then chain rule says to multiply the derivative of the outside and the derivative of the inside together. So negative a times a would give me negative a squared. So I'm looking at answer choice E, negative a squared e to the negative ax. And that's what we have here. All right, let's see if we have any in our calculator section to do. I don't think so. That was the last one about chain rule and implicit differentiation. In that next video, we will go ahead and look at straight line motion.